Well, what an extraordinary pleasure to have the man himself on the show. When I say man himself, a person who's make the impossible look easy, from unknown to unforgettable, from making dream comes true. The more I say, the less it is in terms of what Hiranandani and what Niranjan Bhai and his team have done to Mumbai's real estate. Such a pleasure to have you on ET Now.
My pleasure too.
We are talking about a place which was a quarry, Khadan thi yahan pe, and today it is an iconic area. What was this place 30 years ago, 40 years ago?
Oh, well, 35 years ago, this place was a full quarry.
Okay.
In the entire land, we had 20 trees,
Okay.
and the rest was quarry land.
Okay.
So, extremely far away from the city, very little access availability to the city. And it was, but I love the scale, 250 acres. And I realized one thing, that if one had to create something of your own and actually do it, you needed scale. So that was the first ambition. The second was an experience that I had in Lokanwala complex. And that experience showed me that even if you make good building, but if you look out of the window, you're going to see surroundings with bad roads, bad street lighting, no sewage lines, no water supply, and all the things. And though it is expensive, so I was wondering, why would somebody want to pay so much for a place which is actually not comfortable, not easy to live with, not have a quality of life? And that's why the concept of Powai came in. And that's why I took the risk of coming over here, which was very, very far. But then I had very little money, so I couldn't really buy larger properties within the city or that kind of limits. And such large lands were, of course, not available.
Do you remember the first time you sold the flat here?
450 rupees a square foot for the apartment.
And what is the price now?
It's only 42,000 rupees a foot. So
When you say only, why only?
I'll tell you, because if you look at an equivalent flat of the quality and type of the environment that we have created, I promise you it is worth more. But we do a large number of apartments, and also the fact that there are a large number of other competing builders who have come into the area and doing good work. So because of that, I think that's the rate. But over a period of time, you're going to see as the center of gravity increases, the prices here also will go up. But more than go up, I think what is important to me is that the quality of life of the people who live here is great. And people tell me, I'm happy. I have become successful. My school is here, my hospital is here, my retail is here, my working place is here. So by and large, it's a self-sufficient township, so to say.
A temple created, revitalized a city. That's Ayodhya for you. Now that's an economy which has got created. If I have to really draw a same parallel, can I say that Niranjan Hiranandani has done an equivalent of that? Because if one really looks at Powai, there was an IIT, but now there is a landmark in terms of the residency, in terms of the real parallel ecosystem which has got created.
So the answer is yes. But let's try and understand what each one is. Each one is creating a destination. So when you have Ayodhya, it's the Ram temple. But here, it's not just an iconic building or a deity, but it is a total home and living and working and enjoying life, education, health, etc., all in one. So I think a good township is a little level above that, though of course my the work in Ayodhya is unparalleled. I mean, I've never seen anything in my whole life equivalent to what has been done in Ayodhya. But this is a different type of creature. The township is a different species, and it can't be compared with this kind of thing. And another is the fact that when we did it, we raised the quality of life of every person coming here, living here, working here, studying here, coming to the hospital here, retail we did. So all that and more when we did, our idea was, I was brought up at Malabar Hill. My father was a doctor.
Yes, yes.
He worked in Breach Candy, Bombay Hospital. So we were South Bombay people. When we came to North Bombay, we found that the quality of life of the people was much lower. And they took it for granted that it is okay to have a lower quality of life. And for me, it was, can I make a better quality of life in Powai than in Malabar Hill? So that, why should it be less? So everything that we did, whether it was residences, the hospital I wanted was to be better than the hospitals my father worked in. Just Lok, Breach Candy, Bombay Hospital, Nair Hospital, ENT Hospital. It should be there. My school should be better than the school I studied in, Campion School in South Mumbai. The college should be better than the college I studied in, Sydenham College in South Bombay. So all in all, the whole objective was, how do I create a township or a model which is better than Malabar Hill, which was considered to be the iconic place to live. And I think that is what is more important, and we succeeded. That is something which worked. And of course, we've been able to replicate the same in Thane at the Hiranandani estate. So I think all in all, what we've achieved is actually more to create destinations where people felt, yahan to nahi ho sakta. There's no possibility that this far we can create a destination.
You made the impossible look easy. Now, every time when we have you on the channel, the social media, there is one sawal which always comes. Please ask Niranjan bhai, should one invest in real estate in Mumbai? If yes, why? And which part of Mumbai they should invest in, considering that now the infrastructure which is going to be connecting the island cities of Mumbai is just going to be incredible.
So, three things. Number one, yes, you should. The reason is today real estate is going to go up as GDP goes up and we become a $5 trillion economy. Real estate is going to be a very big factor of it. Today we are 7% of GDP. By that time we are $5 trillion economy, it will be 20% of GDP. So the values of real estate are going to go up. Number two, infrastructure of Mumbai is growing by leaps and bounds. Let's look at metro. We are adding 300 plus kilometers of metro in the next 2 years. The coastal road, MTHL, so beautiful. It connects to...
Will it change life for everybody?
Completely. The real estate business will, in 24 months, see a sea change. My prediction, 30% of all construction will move beyond MTHL. So it will be across the bridge and on that side. Because you have vacant land equivalent to half the land of Mumbai, South Mumbai, available just across 20 minutes from the thing. So all in all, you're going to see a growth center which is unbelievable. And luckily, infrastructure is already coming up there.
How much land bank do you have in Panvel?
We have about 500 acres.
Okay. And how soon you will be able to develop it?
We've already developed 2,000 apartments which we have delivered where occupation certificate. Darshan in Yota has built the finest data center in the world and lots of more things coming up over there, and all the big developers have already picked up pockets of land.
So should one invest in Powai Township, Thane Township or the Panvel Township?
So it's very simple. If you want to live here just now, I think you would buy in Powai or in Thane. And if you really want to look at it as a pure investment that you do and you want to double it in 2 years, 3 years time, I think Panvel would be a better bet.
So what happens to South Bombay? What happens to Central Bombay? Now that the bridge and infrastructure connectivity is just going to take that premium away, 2-hour commuting becomes 20-minute commuting. So if the traffic moves from this southern part and the central part to Panvel, are we looking at a plateau coming here?
No. See, you have to understand, just like Powai was a distant place and very cheap in those days, we are creating destinations there. Those destinations will price out to a very large amount. So, if today we are selling at 13,000 rupees a foot, it will easily go up to 26,000 rupees a foot, which is today Thana price. So, in the next 2 to 3 years, just across the thing, because you are less than half an hour, 40 minutes away from South Mumbai, you're going to see those prices go up. Whether the Bombay prices are going to come down, that one can't say, because it also depends on incremental demand which is taking place in this region. So I think that is a different story completely. But as far as the prices in Panvel, you will see pockets of affordable housing, which will be lower price. There will be mid-level housing and there will be destinations.
Okay.
So those who create destinations will see incremental values. Those who create just building will see values go up equivalent to say what inflation plus. But overall growth is taking place in the real estate sector in the next couple of years in India, and that exponential growth, Niti Aayog has already confirmed that from 7% it's likely to go between 15 to 20% of $5 trillion. So I think that acceptance has to be there, will grow. Difficult to say. We can only guarantee that those new destinations, the incremental price will be much faster, quicker. But you can't say that these South Bombay things are not going to grow. They may.
But if I, let's say, look at trend line, can I say that at least for Mumbai real estate, GDP growth, which is in the range of about 5 to 7% or 6 to 8%, depending on the metrics you look at, that really could be the long-term trending for the real estate market?
So between 5 and 12% is what you can look at in the South Bombay and this area. While you will see 20 to 30%, 20 to 25% in the destination locations, 10 to 12% in the new locations, even if they are not destinations, because the new areas are opening up. So that is already seen. You can see the market itself indication give you that kind of feeling.
Your entire journey has been full of twists and turns and peak and turfs, and what I understand is that there were times you just look back and said that ye kya kar diya. You're almost close to bankruptcy. There was a lot of challenges in terms of what you envisioned versus how the real life was moving. How did you keep yourself calm? What did you keep on telling yourself when there are tough moments in your life?
I think I've grown over a period of time. The initial problems were such that one would like to even commit suicide and say you can't manage it. Over a period of time, you realize God is there with you. If you're honest, you have integrity, you haven't cheated anybody, you have worked your level best, something saves you. And the funniest part, I want to tell you about karma. And I do believe now much more in karma now than I ever did. I looked after ABC people. And I thought ABC will come to my rescue in my difficult time. They didn't. It was DEF from nowhere, whom I thought, ये कैसे आ गए? तकलीफ के time पर, difficult times, how did they come? It could only because of good karmas that you do really come back to you.
What would be a business advice to somebody who says, look, I want to create another Powai, I want to create another township. It was easy perhaps 30, 40 years ago to explore an area and develop it. But somebody who's 20s, he's inspired by you. You see in this interview, said, I wish I could do what Niranjan Bhai has done. What would your advice be?
Patience.
Okay.
If you have the patience, the vision, the patience and execution capacity, there's no reason why anybody cannot do it. But nowadays, you don't have patience. You don't, you're not willing to wait. You're not willing to, you want to earn quick money. And you don't have the patience to do it. So if you want to create something which is magnificent, beautiful, which lives beyond you, and then you have to have the patience to say, okay, I will look after it. In that time, what you talked about, there are ups and downs which are going to take place. There are going to be times when things are not working for you. All that and more will happen. But you have to have that
patience,
grit and patience to say, okay, this is one part of the downside or the upside that we are going through. And we have gone through as many downsides as the upsides.
What was the worst downside for you?
No. Every downside at the time when it happens is unbelievable. I was raided by the CBI for having overpaid 2,23,000, and they told me that I had cheated Provident Fund for 168 crores, and it came in ET, and it came on the front page of all the papers, and actually I had overpaid by 2,23,000, and I was still prosecuted for that. So, I mean, those are things that happen. So, I mean, nothing can happen to you if you have not done that wrong. And that didn't happen once, it's happened 5 times in different ways. Please.
Vijay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers to this, sir.
Cheers.
It's a lovely place to have a nice warm tea. Sir, Niranjan Hiranandani of 2024, meets Niranjan Hiranandani of 1985 when you just started, what would you advise, or what would Niranjan Hiranandani of 2024 advise to Niranjan Hiranandani of 1985?
First of all, I wouldn't advise.
Okay.
Because the circumstances are changing so fast and rapidly that you have to learn to adapt to the environment.
Okay.
You have to understand that so many things are happening today. Internet, IT, marketing strategies, technology of construction, availability of capital. We used to borrow money at 2% per month from the Hundi market.
2% a month?
2% a month.
Okay.
And it was ridiculous. Nobody would put in money over there, and there was a lot of black money in existence in that market, and we hated it.
You changed it. I remember
We
a
changed it. We
conversation
kind of
had in
changed it. We kind of
2003,
changed it, and
that
we
every transaction will be in check.
Yes. So when we did that type of changes, which we took place, in fact, the market didn't like us
Yes,
in
yes, I
many
remember.
respects in that sense of the term, because it was uncomfortable for them. But we realized that if we want to professionalize our business, if we want to bring about credibility, you have to get into those kind of things. And the other thing which I realized over a period of time, people look down upon builders.
Why is that?
Because I think in those days, because of the type of economy, there was no credibility, and many of them cheated most of the buyers. Fortunately, what we've been able to do is to actually bring back that credibility, and that is why we have now corporates, multinationals investing, doing it, being listed, and all these things which are happening is simply because we have credibility in the marketplace. And second, because of the trust built, the market has expanded. It's just grown beyond imagination.
So why not go public then? I mean, if I look at some of your peers, some of them have gone public in last 3 to 4 years.
That's right.
The market caps are anywhere between 80,000 crore to 1 lakh crore. Isn't that tempting enough for you to go public?
Tempting, no. Think about it once in a while, but then I realized that I don't need the money just now.
Darshan never forces you, Papa, let's look at market cap.
Children have their own story to tell, and I'm sure that he will do this. He will go for the market in terms of data centers or pipelines or whatever it is that you want to do. That's definitely going to happen. But I'm very happy with what I have, and there's no compunction need to do it today. Maybe tomorrow.
They say every man is chasing a number. What is that one big number Niranjan Hiranandani is chasing?
At age 52, I stopped chasing.
Okay.
I'm now 73, going to be 74 in 2 months' time. Can I tell you a joke?
Please.
It's like this. I was once interviewed by some other interviewer and was asked, how much do you want to become wealthy? So I said, I don't know about wealthy, but I certainly want to grow. So he said, okay, grow to what number? The same question which you asked. So I said, I have no number to go through. So he said, ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? कुछ तो टारगेट होनी चाहिए एक नंबर के लिए. मैं बोला, मैं टारगेट के पीछे नहीं जा रहा हूँ. मुझे सिर्फ ग्रोथ चाहिए. मुझे बढ़ना है. सब काम में बढ़ना है. Whether in charity, in education, in health, and whatever it is, those are not for profit. So they said, अच्छा, ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? आपको ग्रो भी करना है और ज़्यादा पैसे नहीं बनना है. ये कैसे क्यों? मैं बोला, मैं समझाऊँ? तो बोले, हाँ समझाइए. तो मैं बोला, देखो, मेरे पास 1000 करोड़ रुपया है, समझो. और
कितना है पैसा वो भी बता दो.
वो मुझे नहीं पता, वो आप बताएंगे. 1000 करोड़ निरंजन हिरानंदानी का वेल्थ है और वो मर जाता है, गुजर गया, एक दिन तो मरना ही है. तो सपोज 1000 करोड़ से मर गया, तो आई हैव टू लीव बिहाइंड 1000 करोड़, करेक्ट? सपोज टुमारो आई हैव डबल द वेल्थ, 2000 करोड़, डबल ऑफ 1000 करोड़. एंड देन व्हाट हैपेंस? When I die, what happens? I leave behind
2000 crores.
2000 crores. So I will feel unhappy that I've left 2000 crores. So now I'm in a state of mind that let's presume that from 1000 crores I become 10,000 crores. Then I will be unhappy 10 times more than what I was yesterday because I leave behind 10 times more. But growth I want. Growth in real estate, growth in my hospital, growth in my colleges, growth in my other institutions, growth in my personal self. So all that and more I want to do. But आंकड़े पर मेरा
So you don't want to die rich?
I don't know about whether I will die rich or not, but I don't want to die poor in the sense of saying कि ये last इतने साल में कुछ नहीं किया. मुझे चलते चलते मरना है, दौड़ते दौड़ते मरना है.
No, I'm sure, sir. God will
ऊपर
bless you.
चढ़ते चढ़ते मरना है, and I want to die like that, and I'll be very happy.
No, God will bless you with a long life.
Thank you.
And I know we have some common friends, and they tell me that you work round the clock. There's hardly a Saturday, Sunday in your life. You still have the same principles, the same grit, the same passion at which when you came here in 1980s versus when you're coming right now. So what keeps you going? What time does your day start? What time does the day end?
So 5:30, 6:15 I'm in the gym. 6:15, 6:30. 7:20, 7:30 I go get ready. 8:15 I leave for the office, and 9:15 I'm in the office in Powai.
The place where you're shooting versus your office, it must be what, a half a kilometer walk, but I saw people were approaching you and they were just, saying thank you to you. So did you feel very nice when people recognize you, when they say thank you to you, when they take a selfie with you?
It's embarrassing because nowadays they even come and touch my feet and I feel quite embarrassed to do so. Middle-aged people come and touch my feet and builders come and touch my feet. मैंने आपके कारण builder बना और students who have studied in the schools and colleges and all and are very successful and all, they come and meet me and all that. It's such a pleasure. I think all those things really give you a delight and say, मेरी बेटी ये बेटी है ना, आपके हॉस्पिटल में उनका जन्म हुआ, वो पीडियाट्रिशियन आपके हॉस्पिटल का है, ये आपका है, हमारे मदर है ना, last days में आपके hospital में
The joy of giving back.
The joy of giving back. I think that is something which I am thoroughly enjoying. So I think growth, yes. आंकड़े, no.
Not right. So last question, and this perhaps what has changed to the real estate sector post-RERA. Consolidation has happened. Big brands, big builders are only becoming bigger. Who has the right to win in the real estate sector in India?
So that's not for me, but the reality is there is going to be consolidation, because there was a huge amount of trust deficit which took place in the real estate industry. Luckily, good corporates, good builders have excelled and are very trustworthy. So that has changed. Number two, consolidation is taking place because capital requirements have gone up. RERA requires you to fulfill a large number of obligations. So there is consolidation. So in the Mumbai region, for instance, I would consider about 22,000 builders before RERA. I think they're down to 12 already, 12,000. This is a reality. My view is it'll come down to 5,000 or 6,000 ultimately. 5,000, 6,000 will be there, which is a big number. Remember. So I wouldn't say that you'll have 5 or 6 like you have in other industries. You'll have 5,000, 6,000. So which is good, and I think it's good enough, and it enables the bad to become good, good to become better, better to be best, and some to be better than the best. So that change has taken place, and I think I'm delighted. पहले ज़माने में 30-35 साल पहले ये builder है. Ministers would be hesitant to write my name in their diary. Today I've been appointed by the Prime Minister's office on HUDCO as director, which is a A-grade director thing, which has been there, a CCA appointment. So the big change which has taken place is that as an industry, we have got respect. And good people don't mind coming into the business of business, which was not there 30 years ago. So 30 years में एक नाम बताओ, एक भी corporate entity नहीं थी. Forget listing. No corporate entity was interested to even invest. Foreign. No foreign company was invested in commercial or residential or anything. Nobody 35 years ago. And today, billions of dollars. So I think that the world has changed, and the credibility that we have brought into the industry is to be saluted to all the builders who are doing this country.
As a television anchor, I would like to share an experience here. As a child, I used to come here. As an adult, I started visiting my aunt here, and as a television anchor, I'm really seeing the place blossom. They say history will remember good and bad things, but Niranjan bhai, I guess you've changed the geography of the place.
Thank you.
Everybody would like to measure success in terms of market cap, in terms of profitability, but I would say that success is measured in terms of impact, and you've really made it many dreams come true. Thank you very much for joining us on ET Now.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you
such a
very much.
pleasure to have you here in Powai.